Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to the new episode of the Stuff and Things Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me for episode 29, cancelled too soon or not soon enough, it's Stefan.
Good morning, afternoon, evening and night. How are we all doing?
Yes, everyone is well. Both of our listeners very happy and
Hi, Mum.
contented. Yeah, no, definitely not my mum. She doesn't listen, jeez. Hello. This is episode 29 of our weekly show. Every Friday we aim to give you a new episode where we're discussing different topics. Today, TV shows, cancelled too soon or not soon enough. It's been a fun one because it made me think back to like stuff I was always really disappointed that there wasn't more on. And then when I've done that and I wrote a little list, I realised, one, just how eclectic my taste is in TV shows, but two, just how kind of random some of these things are. And I don't know if some of the shows I'm about to mention you'd have even heard of.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to start with this. So there was a sci-fi TV show in the 90s that only had one season. And the show was called Space Above and Beyond.
Nope.
Nope, silence. No, trust me, I would have been shocked. It was a big show in the US, it was on Sci-Fi in the US, and the BBC Two had it in the UK. And they promoted the crap out of it, and I saw it. And the basic premise of this show is humanity, it's not in the too far distant future. So yes, it's science fiction, yes, we're in space, etc., but the technology felt very real, if that makes sense. It didn't look like Star Trek, warp drives and things. Everything looked kind of, I can imagine that's how it would look,
Okay, yeah.
compared to now. And the whole premise is that mankind is out exploring the galaxy, the solar system and everything, and we've not encountered any evidence of any alien life, and the whole start of the show was we thought we were alone in the universe, and then one day we weren't, and so some aliens find a colony of humanity and murder everyone, and suddenly we go from being explorers to being at war. And it's called Space Above and Beyond, and it was about this group of people who were recruited, and we're just getting our asses kicked constantly. They're their superior firepower and everything. All of our best fighters and all these people have died, and then there's this ragtag group who get recruited, thrown together, and they somehow manage in one of these battles to work out something and win. It's the first skirmish, they win. This is the pilot episode. And because of that, suddenly everyone has hope. We can beat them. There is a way to beat them. And so this group become the kind of the go-to. These are the elite guys because they're the ones who finally want to fight for us. And season 1 basically tells this story. And there's loads of offshoots. Anyway, I like sci-fi. And so for this show, it was I loved it. And the thing was, I was younger, and so you didn't quite have the same access to what's going on with ratings and things and everything. So I finished this season and I'm over the moon. This is amazing, the best thing, so good. There, and it's gone, never to be seen again.
I can't wait for the next season. Oh,
mate, it did so badly they didn't even release it on DVD.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I loved this show, and I thought it was great, and it just didn't even get a DVD release. I bought it from eBay. Someone literally burned the DVDs from the TV, so I could own it.
What a hero!
Because I really wanted to watch the show again. Yeah, so to this day, that one always sticks in my mind.
Did you watch it later in life and realise why they
do you know
you
what?
still think it had a chance?
Do you know what? Every now and again, because of the way social media works now, like TikTok and stuff, I'll see people sharing clips of the show talking about it. And, like, no, actually, like, I look at it and I think maybe it was ahead of its time, or maybe, like, the premise of it, like, maybe, because, like, I've seen shows since that you look at and you go, that's kind of a direct pull, like a kind of, because there was a whole season of Star Trek Deep Space Nine where it was at war. It was like the whole season was like this big war thing, and there were storylines in it, and I'm like, well, that's almost like a direct pull, you know. So it feels like perhaps it like led the way for this kind of science fiction, and then
I get you.
there's like loads of other stuff that followed it that was just loads more successful. So that one always sticks out to me. But another show that sticks out to me, which is completely different, you couldn't get more different, is a show that was written by Aaron Sorkin, who wrote The West Wing, which had been a phenomenal hit. And his follow-up to that, with a fair few members of the cast, Matthew Perry from Friends was a star in it, and that show was called Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
Okay, no, not heard of that one either.
I guess, and again, yeah, okay. So this show was like a, you think about Saturday Night Live, this institution in the US.
Yep.
This show was like a kind of behind the scenes of a show called Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, and it was about the writers, everything about putting together this show. It was like a kind of behind the scenes of it was fiction, like everything, but it was like what it takes to put these shows on. It was really fast paced, brilliant dialogue, really good characters, really good actors, obviously, like Matthew Perry was in it and was brilliant in it. And what is so damning on this is the show was rated through the roof, was brilliantly rated in the US. It was picked up by Sky and was shown on Sky One across the world, everywhere else, and did brilliantly. But the first ever writer's strike happened, and season 2 got cancelled.
Oh.
So that was actually a very highly rated show that was a victim of that first writer's strike, like back along. Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip was literally, everything about it was a hit. The writer was Aaron Sorkin, who literally just every season of The West Wing won every award going for writing and everything. And yeah, it just cancelled after one season because of the writer's strike.
That's nuts, isn't it? Especially with something like that, you say it was doing so well as well.
Yeah, it was huge. It was a show that if it had run like season 2, season 3 and stuff like that, I guarantee you'd know it. You know, it was like, it was going to be huge. Because I don't think you've ever watched The West Wing, but I imagine you've heard of it.
I've heard of The West Wing, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been like that. Like, even if you hadn't seen it, you'd know the show exists because of the size of it, if you know what I mean. Like, it was something special. A show I feel like I need to mention in this category, but at the same time, I'm gonna admit I didn't like it, so I didn't care.
Okay.
Is a sci-fi show called Firefly.
Now, I was doing research for this show, and Firefly is mentioned on every single list. When I looked up shows that stopped too soon, shows that should have had more seasons, Firefly is like in the top 3 of every single list. Every list,
yeah. And it's funny because those other 2 shows I just mentioned are shows I watched and loved. Firefly, everybody said I had to watch it. You like sci-fi, you're going to love this. It's the best show, you're going to think it's amazing. I just didn't like it, which is, you know, but like if you laid it out to me like this is the premise, I'd be like, sounds absolutely for me. Like that, everything that's been in the description, I'm going to enjoy this, and I just didn't. Whether it was the acting, the writing, I don't know, just didn't hit for me. But man, that show has got a cult following like you would not believe.
Yeah.
People to this day are obsessed with the idea of that show somehow having a revival, and it blows my mind. It like, I think it was literally one season, maybe two, I don't know, but it is insane to me. Like you just said, you cannot find a list online of shows cancelled too soon without that being right up there.
Yeah, it is massive.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And again, I never saw it myself. But yeah, and I'm now tempted to go and watch, just purely because it's at the top of every list. I'm like, okay, I need to see what it's all about.
Well, it's interesting because like you could, I have this thing, and Netflix have done this to me, right? Where I now, Netflix especially, but I am almost hesitant to get into a show because I hate the idea of it being cancelled on me, like a bit unresolved. And Netflix cancels so much stuff after one season. Yeah. I now will not watch a Netflix show until I know if they've renewed it or not, because I'm not invested in it anymore. Like Cowboy Bebop was the last one they caught me on, and what makes that a million times worse is they asked us as a podcast to do a review of it.
Yep.
And then they cancelled it.
And then brilliant. Thanks, guys.
It's like, does your brain in.
Can you send me the script for season 2 now, though? Just because I'm involved now, and I just want to know what happens.
I remember there was an episode of The Big Bang Theory where Sheldon tracked down the writers for a show that had been cancelled to find out what they were going to do to resolve it. And he's on the phone to him and he goes, "Oh, okay, great, thanks, that's brilliant. Now I know why you've been cancelled. That was crap." I was like, yeah, maybe that's what it is. So another one from me, which I did watch, which the premise of this, again, I think you're just going to be like, nope, never heard of it. But the premise of this show was crazy, and then they just killed it, like it vanished. It was a show called Flash Forward.
I haven't seen it, but that name rings a bell.
So everyone on Earth, right, suddenly gets just collapses and has a dream of the future. It's like I can't remember how many seconds it was like a flash forward. Everyone on Earth suddenly has a flash forward to a date in the future, and they see that day of their lives, and then they wake up. Everyone on Earth, no idea what caused it. People who didn't see anything, of course, suddenly assume that means they're dead. So freak the fuck out.
No.
Yeah. People see they're currently happily married, and yet they see in the future they're seeing, like, you can imagine the chaos. Like, people see that they gone to trial for murder. Like, everyone is looking.
Oh, can you imagine? Like, you get 20-second flash forward, and you're just in a jail cell.
Yeah.
What did I do? Why am I here? What?
Yeah. So it was like chaotic, and it was all about these couple of police detectives like trying to piece together everything, but also an investigation into what the hell caused this, like what the hell's going on. Yeah. So the show had a kind of everything from straightforward detective stuff, like how do we go, like, I know from my flash forward that I'm arresting that guy over there for murder, but that guy don't commit the murder for 2 years. Like, so what do I, like, there's this real interesting thread of...
You just go up to the guy and go, look, do me a favour. Don't murder anyone.
Yeah, on this day, like, just take a day off, right? Just go home.
Yeah, so it's like, not go to work that day. Why? Because you're going to staple your boss in there.
And the show gradually catches up to the date, and then you start to realise that people are like, okay, I know that I'm in a car wreck on the day, so I'm just not going to get in a car. I'm not going to. And then you start to realise that actually stuff will happen to, like, the more you try and push against the fate. Think like Final Destination. The more you try and...
Yeah, of course, yeah. Like, when it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah, exactly. So it was the show had everything, and then boom, gone, cancelled. And it had high ratings, but I think it was the writer's strike again. So that was kind of interesting. So that's kind of like my list for ones that were like I think were cancelled too soon. Just for me personally. Do you have any personally for you that you like shows that you like to watch that were gone too soon?
Okay, I have a couple.
Yep.
They're quite. Some of them are a bit random.
Well, it's perfect. Mine were very random.
So, one of them is The Acolyte, the Star Wars show that we did on the podcast.
It's a great show. Yeah, I feel very much so. That
was I thought that was a really good show. I know it got a lot of hate. Pretty much before it even came out, it got a lot of hate.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just almost got trolled into submission.
It did, unfortunately. But no, I agree with you. Actually,
it's a shame because it wasn't groundbreaking television or anything, but in a Star Wars universe that I do enjoy, I thought it was a very interesting story to tell.
Mate, 100% agree with you. Yeah.
So disappointed that got cancelled. Another show is... this was a show that the wife was watching kind of in the background whilst I was doing stuff on the computer or doing bits and pieces.
Sure.
Okay. Pan Am. Margot Robbie in it.
Yep.
All about the Pan Am airline. I got quite invested into it over a little bit.
I find that when Margot Robbie's in things.
It does help. Oh, 100% it helps. Got a bit interested in it. Started watching it. It got to the end of the season. I was like, oh, that was pretty good. Is there a second one? And the one was like, no, they never made another series of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you bastards.
Yeah. No, not a show that it was on my radar, but I
but
get you.
It was all about kind of like the Russian spies involved, and some of the air stewardesses, they were working for the Russian spies and all this sort of, and it was really quite interesting. And just gone.
Yeah. Okay.
What else was there? And I think that was kind of it really for mine. They were kind of like, why didn't you bring out more? I've got more shows where I'm like, you had the perfect ending point and you carried on.
Yeah, that's what we're going to come on to.
Which is the next part. But I think for actual shows that stopped too soon, I'm okay, I think. Just those two are the main.
Well, the next batch of shows I want to talk about is actually, because I'm kind of on the fence with these, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So the first one I want to talk about is a show called Heroes.
Yes.
Heroes ran for 4 seasons, and seasons 1 and 2, I think, are some of the best television ever written. Like, this show was incredible. Save the cheerleaders, save the world. Did you watch it?
I watched bits and pieces. It was my stepdad used to watch this show.
Yeah.
So mate, I was kind of in and out on it.
If this show came out today, trust me, you'd be watching it like obsessively. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was basically a global phenomena eclipse causes people with like a mutation to develop powers all over the world. And these people, obviously, some of them want to become heroes. They want to help. Others become nasty, evil, use their powers for bad, etc. And the idea is that this group of heroes need to come together to save the world. And yeah, it starred a great cast, really well written. But the reason why I'm talking about it is because season 1 and 2 was so good, and season 3 and 4 were so bad that it's like seasons 1 and 2, you're like, I want more, I demand more. But after we got seasons 3 and 4, I wanted that show cancelled in the worst way.
Yeah, it's like, you had it so good, why did you screw it up?
Now, there is a debate again that during season 2 was when that writer's strike hit, the one I'm talking about, a few of these. So
okay.
could it be again that because of that and this massive delay and writers possibly being changed, 3 and 4 just were, it was so bad. Like it almost feels like 2 separate TV shows with the same title. They even tried to do like bring it back with like a unofficial 5th season, and it was just awful. Like there's just, they had lightning in a bottle with seasons 1 and 2, and it just went. Like,
and
it was
then they
awful.
opened the bottle, threw it away, and tried again.
Yeah, and pissed in it. Like, literally, like, you had this bottle of champagne, you emptied and pissed in it and tried to serve it. Awful. But so that's what I kind of want to talk about. Like, that's in this, like, kind of midway point of, like, when the show started, give me more. Like, I want to watch more of this. But when it, because of the quality dropping by the time it was cancelled, man, was it the right choice. Like, this show's become so bad.
Yeah, okay, I've got one in the same category for you.
Go for it.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
What?
I absolutely loved Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I thought it was absolutely incredible.
Yes.
And then I found myself about 3/4 of the way through it, when they all go to Florida and they're in witness protection or stuff like this.
Yeah.
I remember just watching that go, what are they doing? Like, I almost kind of came out of it like, why? What? And I was like, they should... Maybe that was one of those ones where I was like, maybe that should have finished sooner.
Well, again, and this is... like, I liked Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I loved it. Like, I still quote it to this day.
And I enjoyed it start to finish. Like, the whole witness protection thing cracked me up. Jake going into jail, sharing a cell with a cannibal, cracked me up. Yeah, I enjoyed all of that. And I thought the ending was amazing. Like, so emotional for, like, a comedy, silly show. Like, just such a good ending. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, but yeah, I mean, it's opinion, you know. It's I've said that about Heroes. Other people might think season 3 and 4 are really good. They're wrong, but they might think that. The other show I had, which is exactly the same to Heroes, is a show called Killing Eve.
I've heard a lot about that show.
Now, what is interesting with this is seasons. So there's an actress, writer called Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I don't like her as an actress. Everything I ever see her in, I don't enjoy.
Okay.
As a writer, she wrote seasons 1 and 2 of Killing Eve, and it is incredible. The characters, the storyline, it is brilliant. And she stepped away, and seasons 3 and 4 flushed it down the toilet. Like, awful. Like,
they really went the wrong way. Yeah.
Just like I remember finishing season 3 and thinking, I really hope like this improves. And then I remember watching season 4 thinking, I'm really glad this is the last season. Like, this isn't good. So again, like Heroes, with that similar sort of thing where it started so good, but again, like, they had the writer's strike, but with this, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who wrote it, walked away or stepped away. And so, again, the drop-off was, wow, like, it was like off a cliff. So, I want to talk about now then, shows...
I've got one more.
Oh, okay, yeah, go
One
on.
more. Only Fools and Horses.
Okay,
as a show,
so we're now at a point...
They had the perfect ending.
Yeah.
That ending was absolutely perfect. And then they carried it on.
Now, I will openly admit... So I will agree with you. The ending they had after the 3 Christmas specials that year was, without a shadow of a doubt, them literally walking off into the sunset as millionaires.
This time next year, oh my God, it's actually happened.
Like, it was brilliant. Like, that was the perfect end of the show. The thing that I run into with this, which is kind of a funny, I don't know what the right wording is kind of like I completely agree with you, but I'm also one of the people that wanted more. So like, the idea when John Sullivan wrote that ending and everything, that was it, it was done. And then they all sat down together and went, oh, we could tell this story, that would be funny.
Yeah.
I wasn't going, no, don't give me more of this show. Or, like, I was just like, yes, more.
I get that completely.
And I did feel that ending then got lessened because of it, which is sad. But I also laughed my ass off at the episodes they did and the special they did, because it was very funny. The story was very, very funny of what happened and what they did. But yeah, you're right.
So
I mean,
that's why I've kind of put it in that grey area section, because
the
episodes that came out weren't bad episodes.
No,
and they
were
fitted
good.
in with what Only Fools and Horses was.
Yeah,
but it had the perfect ending.
It did. No, I think you're right. I think my initial reaction to you bringing up Only Fools and Horses was I was going to turn to violence. But I think you're
talking
right.
of things that were cancelled not quick enough.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I'm going to give you that wholeheartedly. I think that show could have left at that point. Always leave them wanting more. I should have been disappointed with wanting more and never getting it, I think. Yeah. So moving on into the not cancelled soon enough, the one I want to talk about straight away is again a kind of grey area, but kind of moving into this. And I want to get your opinion on it, because the show technically wasn't cancelled. The showrunners brought it to a halt. And the show I want to talk about is Game of Thrones.
No, that fits firmly in the wasn't cancelled quick enough.
So
7 incredible seasons. I don't remember if they made an 8th season or not.
Yeah,
because I've wiped it.
6 incredible seasons. So I'm going to lay out. So a lot of people listening may already know this, but I'm going to lay this out. So George R.R. Martin had a meeting with David and Dan, who were the showrunners for HBO, to create a live-action version of the books of A Song of Ice and Fire. The show was called Game of Thrones. It became a global hit, smash.
Phenomenal.
A phenomenon. Yep. They are based on a series of books that have not been finished. At the time of doing the deal, the writer, George R.R. Martin, was of the opinion, hilariously, that by the time the show caught up, his next books would have been released to just rub it in. We are so many years past the show finishing, and he's still not finished the damn next book, let alone the final book.
I still genuinely believe the reason those books have not been finished is because the reaction the TV final series got, he's had to rewrite 2 entire books because he went, well, that didn't work. Okay.
There's an element of that, but I also, as someone who's read these, I think he's written himself into a corner.
Yeah.
Because I think he's killed characters he needs, and I think he's created his own problems. But let's throw that to one side. The plan for this show that George R.R. Martin agreed to give the rights and sold, made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Was that the show needed to be 10 seasons of 10 episodes. And if you've read these books, you will know the level of detail in these books. You will understand. Now, if you watch Game of Thrones, seasons 1 to 6, which is 10 episodes, the dialogue and the act, it is on a level that is why the show was so successful. The characters, all of the storylines gradually starting to merge.
Yeah.
And all of these things going on. It is phenomenal. The level of acting and the dialogue and everything, the scripting.
See, what I find amazing about it is that for a lot of people, that is what absolutely gripped them and dragged them in.
Yeah.
Yet for the other half of people, that was the reason they were like, nah, it's just too much.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you an example. So I recommended the show to my dad to watch. My dad likes things like this. He couldn't get into it. He said it was too gratuitous with the sex and stuff like that. It was just too much for him. Yeah. And it's funny because I watched it and I was so in the political intrigue and everything like that, and I kind of went, oh yeah, shit, yeah. I just recommended a show to my dad. It's basically a bit of softcore porn running throughout it.
The opening scene is a brother and sister going at it and then pushing a kid out of a window.
Yeah, I didn't think there's I was so kind of, I've read the books and I'm kind of watching this show. So yeah, it was and I know for a fact, I remember a friend of mine not really into fantasy at all. Like, if I tried to sit her down to watch The Lord of the Rings, she'd like probably beat me. But was quite happy watching Game of Thrones because, you know, boobs and dragons and sex and like so. It kind of had this appeal and had created this massive following. People fell in love with the characters, and then like loads of people named their kids after like Daenerys. You know, there are kids out there called Khaleesi now, and stuff like that. Like it was crazy, like the cultural impact of this show. But what happened was the showrunners, David and Dan, became massive in their own rights because of how well they were doing this. And studios and all sorts of production companies were approaching them all the time to say, hey, we want you to come and make a show for us, or hey, we want you to make a movie. And what happened was Lucasfilm approached them to create a trilogy of adult, grown-up, you know, rated 18 films set in the Star Wars universe. So in Star Wars, but set like we want something for the grown-up Star Wars fans to watch and enjoy.
Game of Thrones set in a galaxy far, far away.
Basically, yes and no. Like, it wasn't ever going to be gratuitous sex, but it was just going to be violent. You know, it was going to be... This is like set in an era of Star Wars that was violent, probably in the Rebellion era, or like stuff like, so it's going to be rough and rumble and things. And David and Dan then went to HBO and said, with the CGI budget now for these dragons and stuff like that, we need more money to do 10 episodes, or we can do less episodes and keep the dragons and do this stuff.
Yeah.
And HBO said, okay, like, we're not increasing your budget, so if you need to do less episodes, do less episodes. George R.R. Martin was furious because, quite rightly, he laid this out and said, if you are going to make it, it's 10 seasons, 10 episodes a season, and that's how you tell the story. And they rushed it. Season 7, I think, had 7 episodes, and then season 8, the finale, had 6. It was rushed. And it was so rushed, what the characters did and things make no sense.
Well, yeah, not even the sense of it was rushed as in you took 3 episodes out, 4 episodes out there. They took 20 episodes out the story by not doing seasons 9 and 10.
Exactly, spot on. Yeah, so like people think of it as like when I say rush, they focus on, oh yeah, you know, they just took 3 episodes out here and took 4 there. No, you took 2 full seasons of like 2 massive. Like if you had that, things would make a lot more sense. And then they made decisions based on their interpretation, which made no sense. So the reason why I'm mentioning this at all in this context is that show wasn't cancelled. They brought it to an end. They made the decision that's what they were going to do because they had another project they wanted to get to. The way they ended it makes me angry because you're kind of like, it was gone to, like, this show should have been 10 seasons, 10 episodes, and I think would stand the test of time as one of the biggest and best TV series ever. Because I think if you'd kept that level of writing, that level of everything to follow the books for like they did for seasons 1 to 6, right the way through to 10 when it ended, it would just stand. Now
it would have been phenomenal.
But now, if you think about it, culturally, we've recently had Stranger Things ending, which was a massive, massive show. And as that show was coming to an end, it was interesting to me that everybody was talking about Game of Thrones as the example now of how a show can go from being loved to having a shit ending. So they have actually become, you know, like jumping the shark is now a term.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is now the benchmark of do not fuck up your ending like they did.
That's
and
crazy.
And that's
how
sad.
A show.
Yeah.
Those of you that have listened to this podcast for long enough will know that we did episodically the last season.
We did.
Which meant I literally had a week per season.
Yeah,
binge watched a season per week. We did a podcast about that season, building up to this incredible last season.
Yeah, So it must have hit you even harder.
I felt so shortchanged.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember having, like, nightmares because I was having dreams about things that happened in Game of Thrones because I'd binge-watched it that much.
Yeah.
This final season came out, and I just remember sitting there going, what the shit is going on?
Yeah.
Like,
So that's done then, is it? Like, I just watched like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 episodes, and that whole thing that's been building, you've just done it in the dark. I didn't even get to see it.
yeah, and like the things that everyone expected to happen, you went, nah, do this instead. Why?
Yeah.
Why have you done that?
All hell, Bran the Broken. Get fucked.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah. So I think there's one show, I mentioned it to you before we started recording, so park that one because that's the one we're going to finish with.
Okay, yeah.
But do you have other shows that you feel ran too long?
Oh, yes.
Go on then. Give me what you got.
So, obviously, Game of Thrones was the obvious one to start with.
But again, like this is why I talked about it in the grey area. It didn't go long enough. It was just ended bad. Do you know what I mean? It was like it didn't go too long. They just fucked it.
They just got it so wrong.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, go on.
Okay, so for me, you're going to laugh a lot at this, okay?
Okay, go on.
Grey's Anatomy. Now, you're going to laugh is because you give me quite a bit of crap for the fact that me and my wife do watch Grey's Anatomy.
I mostly give you crap over this because there is so much phenomenal TV.
And this is what... I blame the wife mainly.
However, I'm saying to you, like, mate, we should do this. We should talk about this.
15. We're on season 15 of this show.
Yeah, and there's like... still going.
It's like they've just released, I think it was like 22 or 23 they've just released.
Yeah.
Now, this show... It's a show about a hospital. For those that haven't watched it, I know everyone should know what it is. It's a show about a hospital.
It's a rip-off of Scrubs.
It's a rip-off of Scrubs, they say.
Yep.
It's a bunch of interns, and they go through the hospital life, going from interns to head of surgery to whatever else, like award-winning surgeons and all this sort of thing. Yeah?
Yep.
And you go through it and you're like, it's got to the point now, like we're in season 15. I know there's another 7 seasons to go. And I'm like, what the hell else could possibly happen in Seattle? Like, there's been plane crashes, people have died, people have left the show. There's always a bomb, a fire, or a flood going off.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this should have... Like, I'm still watching it now, but I'm now like, the wife's really invested in it. And I'm like, oh, look, they're doing that person's storyline again. That's nice, just with a different person.
Yeah,
Too many seasons. I know you think one season was too many, but too many seasons.
Yeah. Okay, go on. What next?
Did you ever watch the show Broke Girls? Two Broke Girls.
Was that the show where they worked in like a cafe?
Yeah, like cupcakes. Made cupcakes.
Yeah, Kat Dennings.
That's it.
Yeah, I did watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, that another show that just kept going, and I was like, oh, this is so now crap. Like, it was never fantastic to start with, but there were times there was enough chances there that they definitely could have just been like, that's dumb.
Yeah, that was kind of a throwaway show, really. Okay.
What else? Orange is the New Black. Do you remember that show?
Yes, and I agree with that. That show started really well and then just went weird.
Yeah, like the inmates. Remember the inmates like took over the whole prison at one point.
Yep.
And it just went. Yeah, that went really damn strange.
I agree.
One that's a little bit controversial, I guess, mainly because I haven't actually started watching the second season to know how good it is yet.
Okay.
But in my head, Hijack, the new show that's just come out, Idris Elba, season 1 was phenomenal. And the idea, like, the reason I haven't started season 2 yet is because in my head, this is now reminding me of, remember the films Taken?
Yeah.
The first film, incredible.
Yeah, and then
by the third film, is he just a really shit dad and father, and husband, because they keep getting taken? I'm like, the first season, incredible. Second season, it's happened again to him, and you're like, is this guy just seriously unlucky? Or...
I don't think you can say that we can add that until we've watched season 2.
Okay, but the reason I haven't watched it is because I'm like,
I think you can kind of say it in a kind of, I worry that this could be
massively worried about that.
You can't add that to a should have been cancelled when you've not watched it. That's because it could tie in brilliantly and make sense, but we don't know yet.
It could do, but yeah, I just have that worry. Another one is Glee.
You watched Glee.
I watched the first few. I mean, it came out a long time ago now.
That's okay, buddy. It's fine. I mean, High School Musical, Glee. I see where you're at.
There's nothing wrong with High School Musical. That's just. But
hey, it's fine. You love your musical theatre. So
I do. I'm a musical theatre boy. But yeah, the first couple of seasons of that, fantastic.
Again,
and then it went very, very kind of wokey. And I know before woke was the thing, but it went very wokey. And they kind of had to kind of add every tick box going to it, and it just fell apart.
You've said wokey and you've said tick boxes. That's it. We're into the fight territory again.
Yeah. Okay. My last one. Okay. Yeah. 2.5 Men.
Yeah, absolutely.
I loved that show.
Hilarious.
He quit, and then they carried on, and I'm like, what is this shit?
And by the way, he had a lot of issues and created a lot of problems, and they basically wrote into the show constant digs at him, and it was awful. It was really crap. Yeah,
I thought that was just that was such a good show.
It was.
He left, and it should have been, okay, he's gone.
End the show.
The show there.
Yeah. But it was a cash cow, man. That show was making serious money. And so they wanted to keep it going, and then they rode it into the ground. But so the one we're going to finish on then, which is the one that we both agree on, or the one that with this particular podcast because of our origins, The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I was a massive fan of this show, all the way through 6 seasons, going into season 7 of the show, and the quality and the attention to detail. So, I mean, I'll explain it to what I think happened, and there's some kind of evidence out there to suggest I'm right, which is AMC had a budget for this show and kept upping the amount of episodes they wanted without increasing the budget. To solve the problem of that, a showrunner called Scott Gimple finally came in, and the way he solved it, whereas other showrunners in the past had quit and just said this is impossible, but had done a really great job with what they had, his solution was to do constant non-linear storytelling. So we would have an episode, say 2-3 episodes telling the same week from a certain group of characters' point of view, and then you'd go to the next 2 to 3 episodes with that exact same week again with different characters' point of view of what was going on. For a season, it was an interesting way of telling the story. When you went into 3 to 4 seasons of it, it was awful. It was just so aggravating. And the whole reason for it was to pay the cast less. Like, if you've got this big ensemble cast earning X, and they're in every episode, they earn for every episode.
Yeah.
If you just contract them to do a season of whatever it was, 14, 16 episodes, and they're only contracted to do 6 or 8, then you save money. you look at what happened with the actor who played Carl, turned 18, was suddenly going to be on adult money, and they killed him off.
Yeah.
Like, the show, there's an element of you're going through it, and then they tried to expand it into these other shows and spin-offs. The show died a long time ago, really. It really did. And you could have ended it in such a interesting way. So many options of ways to end it. Don't get me wrong, there were little storylines, like the Whisperer storyline was very good.
That was freaky as hell, but a lot of people say that it should have ended with Rick on the bridge.
I'm not sure about that, because I don't actually think that's a good ending. I think Rick dying like that wasn't a good ending, because where does that, it just leaves everyone in pieces.
Yeah.
Like there was no, and him literally in pieces. It just kind of like, that whole thing, because Andrew Lincoln had had enough, I think should have been a story. Like, it was a message to the fans. Like, that guy was so invested in that character, so invested in the show. They killed off Carl, and he went, yeah, I'm done. Like, this show is father and son, and you just killed the son. Like, I'm done.
I'm out now. Thanks, for
and that really should have been it. And it was the jumping off point for a lot of people. Glenn's death, they lost half the audience, and you add then Rick, and then Rick went, they lost the other half. Like, they lost another 50% again. This show was doing like 13 to 20 million viewers. By the final season, it was barely breaking 1 million for some episodes, and yet they kept it going. It's insane. So globally, the show's a phenomenon, still is. People love it. They created spin-offs with a view of trying to, like Daryl and Carol spin-off, because they knew they had that massive fan base for that.
Oh, yeah.
And then they had Daryl fall in love with someone else, Carol fall in love with someone else. So they pissed off that fan base so much that show's now ending. They created a spin-off with Maggie and Negan, where there's a definite sexual tension between the two characters, and that's pissed a lot of people off. And that's pissed a lot of people off. And so that show is like dropped considerably. Hasn't been cancelled officially yet, but apparently has been. And then you got the show that everyone was waiting to see, everyone was looking forward to, the resolution of Rick and Michonne. And I got to be honest with you, there were bits in it I really enjoyed, but the rest of it was just freaking weird.
Yeah.
It just felt like really out of place and really kind of odd. And they chopped Rick's hand off as like a homage to the comics, and you're kind of like, that didn't need that. It didn't need like this whole. The reason why they didn't do that is because he was the main character of the show, and it would have been a friggin' nightmare to have the main character have to have that for every single friggin' season. Yeah. So yeah, there was just loads to it that, for me, it just didn't work. And the fact that they're still continuing, the fact there's still rumours that they're going to come back and do one final everyone together to end it all, I'm so done with it. Like, I'm just, you have milked that cow dry. The cow is now dead, and you are still trying to milk it. Like,
they're still attached to that udder going, there must be more.
Yeah, like, please stop.
And it's so
like,
difficult, because they did the whole Rick and Michonne season.
Yeah.
And that was like, everyone was like, oh, it's going to be amazing, And then it was like, it really wasn't that great. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't. They were living off the two character names more than the storyline.
Those two actors were brilliant. The story was very meh.
Yeah.
It was very like, you've built this up, this whole thing, and it's just meh.
Yeah.
Like, it just fizzled. It just didn't feel. And you had the spin-off in Fear the Walking Dead heavily linked to it, and then you didn't use any of the characters from it. You, like, what was the point of them being so linked to this CRM storyline?
And nothing appearing at all.
Yeah. And then
we
the
had
resolve,
a character that literally left to go be with a pilot from the organisation.
Yeah. And
not even mentioned.
Yeah, who ironically is the daughter from Taken.
It is!
There you go. A perfect ending, a segue to end our show. Let us know As always, if there are shows we haven't mentioned that you think have run too long or were cancelled too soon, get in touch quickly, because next week is when we sit down and we go through all of your comments, all of your emails, and we've got a shed load, by the way. Thank you very much for that. I will need to go through it so we can get it down to one show.
2-hour special.
Yeah. There is a lot. Clearly, we said some dumb stuff. People,
I take responsibility.
You say fun things that people like. They don't message in. You say something dumb once, and yeah, my email. I also want to say a big thank you to everyone who messaged about the fact we've been unwell. Thank you. That was really kind. We've had loads of well wishes and some really quite interesting emails, which thank you. You know who you are. Yes, I did see them, and thanks. So next week is episode 30, like I said, every 10, so episode 10, 20, 30, 40 will always be us going back over our mailbag, so to speak. So that is next Friday. Looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Until then, everybody, like I said, you can get in touch via all the podcast apps, the socials. It is time for me now to say goodbye, and I'm going to hand you over to Stefan for his final thought.
Okay, so each week I get to talk to you about something that, you know, we talk. Oh, I've lost my own train of thought. Every week you come to me and I give you a thought, and recently I've been told that apparently they weren't as funny as they used to be, which was quite upsetting actually. I had a message from a friend of mine. So okay. Apparently I started off as like one-liners, then I went to like facts, and then I did the whole holding a straw.
Yeah.
And so now I just want to bring it out there, the fact that I'm going to give it a fact anyway. In the film Cars, the Disney film Cars, Mater is the repairman.
Okay.
He has a repair garage full of car parts.
Yeah.
Just think about that for a minute.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.